Okay, so the last product that we have here for the stain is a solid color stain. So anybody out there listening right now or watching right now, you can probably get an idea of what this is. We've got semi-transparent, semi-solid, now solid. So why don't you tell them what the purpose of the solid color stain is and what that looks like. I could say what it is, but I want you to go ahead
Yeah,
and
absolutely. So the Arborcoat solid stain is basically the most opaque of all of the finishes available through the Arborcoat line. It's basically going to penetrate into the wood. It gives you the look of a painted surface. But the nice thing about using a solid body stain over a paint in some cases is after years of weathering, it's not necessarily going to blister and peel the same way paint would.
Right.
It's more apt to just kind of fade and really just kind of fade away.
Right.
And it'll make surface preparation much easier for you in the future. Most exterior houses, decks, a lot of them tend to use a solid body stain on it. It's very easy to work with. It's just a good all-around product.
So let me ask you this. So obviously with the oil primer, you're not putting that on the base or the substrate. You're not going over semi-transparent. You're not going over with semi-solid.
No.
That defeats the purpose of seeing the grain of the wood.
Right.
Now, also with the solid color, you can just put the stain directly to the surface, correct?
Absolutely,
You do not need the primer, correct?
You do not.
So it penetrates that stain. That's the difference between the stain and paint.
That's right.
Paint will kind of sit on top of the surface, and the stain will actually penetrate that surface.
Right. You really want to just take a look at your project, and if you have raw wood,
right.
You want to use the penetrating primer just so that it locks down. It not going to allow any stain to come through
Right.
and discolor your finished coat.
Right.
I think the biggest thing to look for too is a lot of times people look at wood and they say, "Oh, all right, it's bare. I don't see anything on it."
Right.
And a lot of times you can't see sealers, you can't see waxes and
Yep.
things like that. So you can clean that deck as best you can, but take a look at what happens with that water.
Yeah.
So when you wash it, if you still see puddling, then there's probably still something there. So then whatever you're going to put on top of it, it's not going to penetrate. It's just going to sit on top. So I do it like a water test. Just take a cap full of water and just kind of toss it in the air and watch what it does. If it drives into the wood and disappears and goes into the grain, then you know you're fine.
Right.
You know the stain's going to do that same thing. If the water just kind of beads on top and then slowly seeps in, there's a sealer there, and that stain's just going to sit on top.
It's on top of it. That's a big part of the preparation. Why what we are doing, even if it's a brand new deck that's installed, that's why we clean it first and we'll sand it. For what you just said, we make sure that all those surfaces are level and anything that could possibly be on there is off.
Yeah.
So when we're applying this, we don't have 95% of the surface that's look great, and next thing we know, we didn't sand it all the way down, and we've got 5% where it's failing, and the homeowner's like, why is this happening? So just so you know, you're at an even working level throughout the whole thing. Okay.